folks, and welcome back to ALCHEMOTO's garage. We are doing a lot with the Pan Am at the moment. Obviously it's a new bike, we're doing all the mods to my bike to make it more usable on the road. So you've seen the last video, or if you've seen the last video, that was the windscreen mod. We've actually got all that off again because now we're going to install the Satnav mount and the Quadlock USB charger to this bike. There's a few other things we're going to do to it as well. We've got USB points and charge points to go under the seat. And we're going to use the original wiring adapter, which is going to enable us to put extra additions on the bike as well. So there's more to come on this bike. And also a jump point as well, because obviously the battery is located underneath the front of the bike, so it's difficult to jump start. So we're going to put a jump point on there as well. So there's a few things happening with this bike, but we'll bring you closer and show you what we're going to do to put this Satnav mount on. Okay, so we go at the front of the bike. You can see we've removed all the dash assembly and everything off, which is just with these two clips here. It's quite easily, it's self-explanatory once you get everything off the front of the bike. Screen's back off again. We're down to a blank nothingness. In fact, let's just remove this, and then we're left with a big hole in the front of my Pan Am. And the reason we've done that, there you go, you can see here now. You can just see those marks I've made on here, and the same on the other side, and that's the template for the Satnav mount. Okay, so here's the Satnav mount. It's an aluminium or aluminum if you're from the US of A. That light's annoying, isn't it? And you can see I have put a ball mount on here. There's plenty of holes for mounting different editions of Satnavs, etc. But I've got the ball mount with the adapter, and then I've got to put the USB charge point underneath. Now, a few of you guys have probably used the wireless charger from Quadlock, which is quite a good charger, but to me it's quite a bulky item. And I want to use the one with the USB because obviously I can use that for charging other things on the fly as well. I.e. like the GoPro and the handlebar mount and whatnot. So, but this is actually waterproof, this socket as well. That has got to go underneath here, so you've got to take these screws out and pop that in there. And then you just need a short cable then to enable that to work. But what I've done is bought the screw set from Quadlock, so that gives me all the different variations of screws depending on what mount you're going to use and the length of screw. So that mount is actually the accessory motorcycle USB charger. Okay, so this thing, 48, about time we went out on the 48, she's due to ride. Just, I don't know if you can hear, but it's absolutely teeming down outside. That rain's been relentless again all week. Okay, so this is where the mount's going to go. You can see where I've marked for the screw holes. And that baby is going to sit there with the screen just on the inside, and that'll be just above the screen. So we need to go ahead and drill those holes. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure when you're mounting this, you've got your washers on the top, like so. And then you've got these brackets, spacer brackets or strengtheners. They will go underneath. Okay folks, so we've motored on a little bit since the last clip. We've got the mount on now. I'm going to bring you around the other side, show you where the L brackets go underneath. I've just sort of mocked everything up to make sure everything works. We've got the mount on now for the Quadlock and the USB charger, so I'll show you where we've wired that and what we've done there. And also the benefit of this GPS mount as well. There is one benefit of this when the screen's in a high position, and we'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so the mock-up here was just to make sure that everything was going to clear this mount when this bracket was in the top position, which it is. So we're going to take that off and take these two screws back out. Okay, so you can see underneath here the 3, 1, 2, 3, and the same on the other side. So they just about clear this bar here, so you've no problem with that. The only thing I did on my ball mount was just cut off this one flush, because when the screen's in the top position it's pretty close to the back of the mount. So okay, so that's all that is, and then that is pretty damn secure. Alright, and what we did then, we've got the quad lock on the ball mount here with this adapter, the Quadlock USB charger. The reason I went for this mount is so I had universal charging facilities. If you use the waterproof charger, it's quite a bulky item, which obviously sits around sort of this big, about 3 times the size of that, which isn't intrusive. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people have fitted it. That LED light's in my way now, that's annoying. But the reason I've gone this route, if you're from the US of A, is because I can unplug that, and if I want to, I'm going to have a GoPro mount on here. I can use the USB-C port on the other side of the bike, which is the factory option, onto here, or I've got this now as a dual option. So I've got 2 USB chargers. Now, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people say that this port is only for software updates, etc. on the bike. Yes, that's what it is used for, but also it is a 12 volt charging port when the ignition is on your bike, so you can use that for charging your phone. Okay, so what we did with this is we ran the wires through down, following the original loom of the frame, back down through here, tucked it back. We've had the skid plate off. Bring that light now, we need it. So I've had the skid plate off and to the battery terminals behind and wired that direct. Now the bonus about this, and you can just see it sticking out there, is I have got the SAE port. So I've got a charging port there. Now yes, the bike has got one on the rear, which is the factory option. Then you can charge your bike from that or get a SAE to USB adapter. But the bonus about that one is I've got one now direct to the battery. So if my battery is at a level where it's really low, I can put a boost charge off my charge pack straight onto that and charge direct to the battery. But what I will do, folks, because this, if you've got this type of frame, this guard underneath, this aluminium guard or aluminum, it's not hard to remove that, but it is an absolute pain to get at the battery and the terminals and put the little cover on behind this cover here. So what I'm going to do is get a heavy duty set of leads that will take my lithium jump pack, which is this one, and have this, which is an EC5 adapter. If we can get it out of there. So an EC5 adapter to SAE with heavy duty leads, comparison to that, or comparable to that, and then that then will plug into that. So I'm going to remove this one and then swap this to a heavy duty SAE to EC5. Okay, so you can use the SAE but then have an SAE to EC5 adapter and then plug that straight into your jump pack, so it saves all the unnecessary removal of this in the event that you have to jump start your bike. All we've got to do now is bolt everything together and then have a final test. Again, this one's a fiddly one. Make sure you get it in that hole. You don't want to be dropping that. Okay, so time to put the deflectors on. Now, here's the thing. There is some aftermarket ones of these which are slightly wide. You can get them in a smoke colour as well. But what I will be doing, even though I'm putting the original screen back on for now, I will be probably going more than likely 100% for the Puig touring screen, purely because the HD one isn't that clear. There's a lot of sort of distortion when you look through it, so that's not good for the camera and it's not good for myself. So that will be replaced by probably the Puig. Just whether or not I go, I think I've mentioned this, whether I go for the light smoke or the clear one, depends what the camera is going to be like for looking through. Again, it's a shame really with the OEM screen that it's not as good as it should be, otherwise I'd keep it on. I do actually quite like the shape. It's just around here there's distortion around here where it curves, and I have found probably over 65 mile per hour I am getting some wind blast over the head even on the highest position, hence the reason why I will go for the Puig, which I think it's about 40 mil, correct me if I'm wrong, higher than the original in the top position. Okay, so now it's all back together. You can see we've still got the full adjustment of the screen, the bottom position there, and then up at the top there. Now, what I was saying is the benefit of this now, having this mount, is the screen in the top position just about touches there on the top of the mount. So that is now absolutely rock solid. That's as solid as my Triumph was. Okay, so I'm going to get no sort of flexing with the wind at all there. So in the low position, nice and tight, and also in the top position. So this mount serves a dual purpose. The only thing we've got to do now is put the screen back in. Okay folks, so we have got it all complete now. That is overload accessory point there now on the screen. Yeah, it might look a little bit untidy, but we'll tidy it up. But we've got the quad lock on here with the USB charger on here. This is water resistant, so just make sure that it's facing down to help with the water runoff. The short lead is also a quad lock. You can see it's got the rubber grommet on there. That is water resistant into the phone. So that should now alleviate the problems I've been having with the water entering my phone and the charging ports and whatnot that I had on the Tiger, and I've also had that on the 48 as well in the past. So we're now waterproof there. And like I said, the reason I went for this one and not the weather resistant charge point, the cordless one basically, is because of the size of it and because I can unplug that and use that to charge other things as well on the fly, not just anyone that's not got a quad lock. If someone wants to charge something, they can charge it on that, or I can just charge up maybe my drone controller or something like that off the USB. So it just comes in handy using that one. Okay, so also what we've done is we've put a mount on here, another ball mount. So we've got two ball mounts on there, and this one will be for the GoPro, for the forward facing camera there. So from the front, all tucked away on the frame, windscreen in the highest position, beautiful, nice and tight. The only other thing I'm going to do with this, folks, is underneath the seat you have got an accessory plug. It's the middle one under the seat. You've got three plugs. You've got your heated gear points somewhere around here. Obviously you've got your SAE adapter here. 1, 2 heated plug points, and the one after that then is an accessory plug. That enables you to do more charging points. Now the box, or the toolbox under the seat, I'll call it a toolbox, but it's where you can charge, maybe put a phone. There is no point for USB on there. I have ordered another little box, and what I'm going to do is put that under there to give me USB charging for charging GoPro batteries and whatnot under the seat as well. So that'll give me more there, and also at some point I may
get a custom heated seat as well, so I'll use one of the ports off that as well, and again for accessory fog lamps. Okay, so the next thing to do is to get this bike on the road and give everything a test and make sure everything is a-okay. But I'm super happy with that. It's given me a broader range now to mount stuff with. I've got the charging point set up. It's out of the way of the screen. The only thing I will say that with putting this bracket on, you do lose some of the adjustment, or most of the adjustment for tilting the screen because of the mount under here. But to be fair, it's never been a problem. Never had to adjust it so far, so I can't see it being a problem. And that's usually only if you're standing up on the bike, but we can live with that.
Okay folks, so I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. We've got the Satnav phone mount installed. I absolutely love that thing. It's going to change the game on this for all the problems I've had in the past with connectivity. So like I said, there's various mounts on the market. It's just this one I've chose was the best for my needs. But like I said, on this bike, there'll be a few more episodes for little custom bits I'm going to add to this. The screen change, the accessory port, wiring, which I'm going to, in fact, I'll tell you now, if you want to get the accessory plug, don't pay the £41 or whatever it is in dollars for the Harley accessory lead for this bike. I'll put the part number up now for that. You can actually buy the plug. It's a Molex MX 150 3-pin plug, and you can buy that already with the 3 tails off and then plug that into your accessory port, and you can put that to any charging point you want or any accessory. Okay, so that's what you want. I'll put a picture of that on now for you. But anyway, we'll see you soon folks. Thanks for watching this episode. Plenty more to come on the Pan Am and plenty more on the 48. We'll be seeing you soon, but for now I'm signing out. See you later folks.